Okay, what if I told you that you're not just a passenger, kind of stuck with the DNA you were given, but you're actually its co-author? I mean, what if every single day you're picking up a pen and literally writing on your own genetic script? Well, that's not science fiction. That's the revolutionary science of epigenetics. And it's all about how you become the author of your own health.
For the longest time, we've all been fed this idea that our genes are our destiny, right? Like it's this fixed blueprint we're just stuck with. Well, guess what? Science is completely flipping that script. It's time to move on from this old idea of genetic destiny and embrace a brand new one, epigenetic possibility. And let's be super clear here, this isn't about changing your actual DNA sequence. Nope, it's about changing which parts of it get read and expressed.
All right, so let's officially tear down that old idea. First up, genes are not destiny.
So, what is epigenetics really? Well, in a nutshell, it's the science of how your behaviors and your environment can actually cause changes that affect how your genes work. And here's the key part, without changing your underlying DNA. Think of it like this. Your DNA is this massive, incredible script for a play. Epigenetics doesn't rewrite any of the lines. Instead, it's like the director deciding which lines get shouted, which ones are just whispered, and which scenes get cut entirely. It's pretty amazing. And this is the science right at the heart of a field called Lifestylopathy, founded by Dr. Jawad Alzeer. The whole idea is that our health isn't some fixed state, but an ongoing and, most importantly, a reversible choice.
So you can almost think of our daily choices as this constant push and pull between two big forces, entropy and potential. On the one hand, you've got entropy. This is when negative things like chronic stress or a poor diet create chaos. They basically scatter our gene patterns all over the place, leading to dysfunction. But then, on the other side, you've got potential. This is where positive lifestyle choices come in. They add coherence, they add structure, and they build up our resilience and our ability to repair ourselves.
Okay, so how does our lifestyle actually do this writing on our genes? It sounds a bit like magic, but it's not. Our body has a very specific set of biological tools to get the job done. So let's check them out. Section 2, your DNA's editing tools.
So, the body has three main ways it edits our gene expression: DNA methylation, histone modification, and something called non-coding RNAs. Now, I know those sound super scientific, but don't worry. We're going to break them down with some really simple analogies.
First up, we've got DNA methylation. The easiest way to think about this is like a silencing pen. It literally attaches these little chemical tags to a gene to switch it off. Now, this is a totally normal process, but the problem is things like toxins or a bad diet can start putting these silencing marks on protective genes that we really, really need to keep switched on.
Next, there's histone modification. So your DNA isn't just floating around. It's wrapped super tightly around these little protein spools called histones, and this tool, histone modification, acts like a volume dial. It can tighten or loosen how the DNA is wrapped around that spool. So think about it. Stress can cause it to tighten up, hiding helpful genes from view, but something like exercise can help it loosen up, making those awesome genes accessible and ready for action. And finally, we have non-coding RNAs. You can think of these as the messengers. They're not changing the script itself, but they're kind of like leaving sticky notes in the margins that fine-tune exactly how the genes are read. And what's wild is that all three of these tools, the pen, the dial, and the messengers, are incredibly sensitive to the choices we make every day. So we've got the tools, right? The silencing pen, the volume dial, the messengers. But here's the big question. Who's holding them? The answer is, we are. And that, right there, is what makes our lifestyle the ultimate editor. So we each have these 5 main pens, if you will, to write our health story. They are nutrition, mindset, movement, rest, and one that might surprise you, social connection. And believe it or not, every single day, each one of these is making its own unique mark on our genes. Let's start with nutrition. And the key idea here is a total game changer. Food isn't just fuel, it's information. Nutrients from things like leafy greens or berries, they're providing the raw materials for good epigenetic marks. On the flip side, processed foods are sending signals that can lead to dysfunction. I mean, your choices at the dinner table are literally sending instructions directly to your cells. How crazy is that? And it's not just what's on your plate, it's what's in your head. Our thoughts create very real biological signals. Chronic stress, for example, can slap some really harmful epigenetic marks on our DNA that silence genes for things like immunity and repair. But on the other hand, things like mindfulness or meditation can help activate protective, positive patterns. Movement is another huge one.
Physical activity literally unlocks your genetic potential. It reshapes your epigenome by loosening up those histone spools we talked about, giving you access to this whole library of genes for vitality and repair. But a sedentary life, well, that basically keeps that amazing library locked away. And then there's rest. Oh man, this is a big one. Sleep literally resets the script every single night. It's like your body's nightly editing session, where it goes in, erases the harmful marks you picked up during the day, and locks in the good ones. It is absolutely 100% critical for keeping your genetic code in good shape. So I want you to just take a second and really think about this. What are your daily habits writing on your DNA right now? Seriously, are they highlighting your strengths and resilience, or are they just silencing your incredible potential? Now, it's really important to get this. This whole story isn't some generic one-size-fits-all novel. It's deeply, profoundly personal. Which brings us to our next section, your unique genetic story. Okay, the single most crucial point here is this. There is no such thing as a perfect lifestyle that works for everyone. I mean, think about identical twins. They start with the exact same DNA, right? But over their lifetimes, they develop totally different epigenetic marks based on their unique experiences, their jobs, their diets, their stress levels, and all of this comes together to form your personal epigenetic signature. It's like a biological memory of the life you've lived.
And just when you think it can't get any crazier, here's where it gets really profound. These changes, they don't necessarily stop with you. Our choices can actually become part of a biological inheritance. For real. Studies have looked at the descendants of people who survived famines or major traumas, and they found that epigenetic marks can be passed down, influencing the health of their children and grandchildren. I mean, the responsibility there, it's just staggering when you think about it.
But here's the thing. That huge responsibility also comes with incredible, incredible power. So for our final section, let's talk about how we can use that power to rewrite our health legacy.
Okay, if you remember one thing from all this, let it be this. Unlike our DNA sequence, our epigenetic marks are pretty much 100% reversible. That flexibility, that plasticity, that is our superpower. These marks can be edited, erased, and completely rewritten. It is never, ever too late to pick up that pen and start a brand new chapter. So let's just boil this all down to 3 essential truths. First, plasticity is power. Your biology is always open to change. Second, personalization is essential. Your health story is unique, and so your lifestyle has to be too. And third, responsibility is generational. The choices you make today can and do echo far into the future. Ultimately, what epigenetics shows us is that our health isn't some fixed script we're forced to read from. It's a living, breathing manuscript, and it's being revised every single day by how we eat, how we move, what we think, and how we rest. So the final question really is for you. Your health is in your hands. What chapter are you going to rewrite today?